We're here today. Jen and I are going to talk to you about, in the context of kink and BDSM specifically, themes of permission and trust. And Jen, you have such rich language and thoughts.
Thank you.
You absolutely. Would you mind sharing what some of that means to you? Because that can mean so much already.
hmm I must say that I am not very long part of the BDSM scene, just a couple of years, um, because I was made to be a people pleaser and very submissive person, and I thought that was my normal. And
Mhm.
then I met this guy 5 years ago. We're together for 5 years, and he turned my world upside down because he is a male sub. And then I got in touch with BDSM for the first time for real because he was all into it and he showed me what that can mean. And
Mm.
I'm so impressed. And then I discovered the most weird thing, the weirdest of all. I am not a submissive person. I was told that I am one,
Mhm.
but I never actually was. It was just something the world demanded because it wanted to eat me alive.
Yeah.
And um, through this guy and the BDSM scene, I have found liberation and access to my personal self. And I love it. And I'm so grateful for all the people that help to establish what
Mm.
we have nowadays as rules and giving everyone that is part of it permission to just let your freak flag fly, so to speak,
Yeah.
and do whatever you want as long as it's safe, sane, consensual. I love those three words. That's something vanilla sex mostly does not have, and it's so sad.
Let's talk about that. I want to throw a
Yes,
gauntlet down in I want to draw a line in the sand.
yes,
Uh
yes, do it,
yeah,
please.
let's do that because once I feel like you go through some kind of exploration of the self
hmm
and you get the privilege and benefit of doing that with safe humans, right?
Yes.
Where you discuss those things. And of course, in the context of BDSM where there can be particular activities that some people consider non-traditional or extreme, all that should be talked out.
Yeah.
But it's now on the other side of it, insane to me that vanilla
hmm
sex takes for granted that you don't have to discuss any of that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that
Crazy.
vanilla, and I want to define vanilla sex. I don't believe that Jen and I are talking about this, especially in a
No.
heteronormative sense. We're saying unexplored sense of self and then just
Yeah.
submitting to whatever you think you're supposed to do in sex. That's what is that fair to say, to extend that also as a definition to you, Jen? Do you see it that way?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's vanilla sex is something strange. You talk about the technique. Yeah, hear me out. You learn about the technique, how to have intercourse. Yeah,
Right.
sounds
Right.
lame, but that's it. At school, and then you uh, a little ashamed to talk about the stuff. Maybe if you're lucky with friends, because you cannot talk to your friends because they're all parents, and that feels weird. I know most of us have had that situation. I did not quite like mine, um, but then you talk about all that stupid stuff. Maybe you laugh about something and about guys or partners, whatever, and that was it. Nobody talks about. Um, yeah, how to talk properly in a relationship or whatever in a how do you say that in English? A situationship.
Yes.
Um,
Yep.
because everyone expects you, you know how that works. And then we'll figure it out from here. And yeah, yeah, if you if you have something special you want, oh yeah, and there it stops.
You're handed the script of what
Yeah,
everybody expects you to. I mean,
yeah,
how many times have you felt lost? There are so many times where I'm like, I didn't know that's what we're supposed to be doing.
yeah, yeah. Or okay, you want me to do that, and mostly I have no say in it because I'm overwhelmed with the situation, and then I just do what you want me to do, and that was it. And that's sad because sex is not just to make babies, it's to have experience pleasure. All people that take part in the scene, in the play, in the situation must have this, or else it's no good sex.
Agree. Yes. And what I'm hearing you say, and this is what I really think it is, when people have unexplored sexuality,
Yeah.
whatever it is, you don't have to. And when I say that, I think that people immediately start in their minds jumping to conclusions. Unexplored
Yeah.
sexuality doesn't mean you're suddenly going to find yourself to be a different sexual orientation or
Hmm.
you're going to be kinky the way Jen and I identify with that. It means you've gotten to know yourself and whatever truth you settle on, you did it through conscious exploration. And you
Yeah.
can own that. Period.
I must say, it's very, very sad that vanilla sex is not about communication,
Yes.
which can be a turn on for one thing, and the
Right.
other, it's important to tell each other, I like this, I don't like this. We can do that. I am open to experiment XYZ directions. But before you can communicate, you must know thyself, and then you must trust and give yourself permission to explore. And those things, at least when I experienced vanilla sex, were often missing because it was something you just did and then you were done with it. And mostly the guy jerked off and that was it. And you, me, lying there
Yay!
and just said, do you like it too? Oh, well,
Yeah, that was great.
yeah, 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 yeah. Now leave me alone. Please go. Um, yeah. It was not until I became reckless in the dating game that I experienced what I liked.
Yes.
Because then, and that was not, I'm not proud of it, but I flipped the script and I was the one who threw the guys out. So
Mhm.
you're not fit to pleasure me. Please go away. You tried it. No, I never want to see you again. Go away.
Yes.
Go away. Yeah. And that is something that most female people or people that identify as female miss for at least for a long time in their sexual activity, active life, because they never gave the permission to themselves. Because we're all stuck in this vanilla sex idea concept. You do that thing, and maybe you like that position more or that, and that was it. And that's not sex.
That's right. And I think that's kink simply exposes the power dynamics that exist in any kind of sexual relationship,
Yeah,
folks. We're just talking about exposing what's there.
yeah.
The permission part is so critical. And I think this, everything we're going to say applies to the self primarily, that you need to have permission in order to explore fully and be really satisfied. You have to
Hmm.
know the parameters under which you're willing. This feels safe. I don't want to do this. Like I have a sub who is super into pain under the right circumstances, and but
Hmm.
it's very clear like I don't want anything touching my butt. And I'm like, that is so great when you're
Yeah.
facilitating any process because then you
Yes.
don't feel like you have to run a program in the background of, is this okay? Is that, and you don't have to destroy the tension by asking, hey,
Mhm.
pause. Can I touch your butt? Like, I already know.
Yeah.
And then you have it for yourself. You can say
Yes.
that to others, and it's so much easier
Yeah.
to give permission and to engender trust primarily with the self when you have a clear language that only comes from that self exploration, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when you have given yourself that permission and yeah, explored what you like and where you stand with your sexuality, the next thing, and that is something the BDSM scene has and the vanilla sex scene hasn't,
Right.
or hasn't had at least,
That's right.
is communication.
Yes.
Never before have I communicated about sex in that way and so often than with my actual partner that I'm having now. Before it was just, yeah, you know what to do and let's get frisky. And now the half of the thing is talking
Yes.
before and after, and exploring what do you like and how do you like it and can I do this or no, okay. And that's something you can only do if you truly know or feel that you can trust the other person,
Yes.
and that must be part of every sexual interaction.
Yes. Yes. I think I think if I could borrow from kink BDSM language and drop a little token into
Yeah.
the vanilla sex world, trust should be earned.
Yes.
No trust should be taken for granted. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you don't know you're with somebody who doesn't want to hurt you. That's basic. We want to start there.
Mhm.
But that person, it's also to me really unfair. And
Mhm.
I think everybody, no matter how they identify, has a responsibility to know themselves to bring to a partner about how to ensure success sexually. But I think cisgendered heteronormative women who
Mhm.
identify as straight, who haven't had to explore themselves in that way, to them specifically, I would say you have yet to take up the mantle of that responsibility in a very
Yeah.
serious way. You still rely on men who are porn informed and you want to complain that
Yeah.
they don't know what to do. They are not in charge of your pleasure, particularly if their sources of education do not gain your approval. So for you
Mhm.
to capitulate and be like, well, you should know how to pleasure me. Fuck
Now.
that. Fuck that. And this is why Jen likes me when I'm on Instagram because I'm like, listen, I'm tired of this bullshit. And and it
Yes.
and I say that with the compassion of being a cisgendered lady who identifies as straight after having explored and trying because I wanted to shake the fetters of heterosexuality. I'm straight. Um, and I can do some performative bisexuality in the right context, but otherwise,
Ooh.
I'm pretty vanilla in that in
Mhm.
that regard.
Yeah, same, same.
Right, right. Like it's like, but
Yeah.
it's still on us to, even with the power, even more so because of the
Mhm.
power dynamics of oppression that push heteronormative cisgendered women down.
Yeah.
In order to fight that, know yourself. Take
Yes.
responsibility for your pleasure, ladies. That's it. And when I hear the follow-up, because I can hear it from the coaching we do, but
Mhm.
he doesn't like that, well, then he doesn't deserve to be part of your pleasure picture. And if you
Exactly.
want to keep that around, you take on the responsibility of negotiating some self-censorship or even self-abandonment. And as long as you're doing that consciously, I have nothing to say about it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's kind
Totally
of
agree.
fair. Yeah. Good. I'm glad.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't, let's construct something. Let's say you're a vegetarian. You would not want to live with a person who forces you to eat meat. So why would you live with a person that forces you to do things you're not sure about when it comes to sexuality? Why do you allow that? This is your body, your choices. And I believe in the heart of hearts, when we are born, we're given one human, that is this one in my case, to take good care of. And that includes knowing this one so that you can steer it through life and experience a whole life. And that includes knowing what turns you on at one and what does not.
Right. Yes. And what you're willing to
Yeah.
negotiate on, because I'm willing
Yes.
to compromise in certain circumstances. I can tell my partner
Yeah.
sometimes, like, when I'm not in dom mode and I'm like, and I'm not with, because I have a split in my world where doming is one thing and I don't have that dynamic with partners.
Hmm.
And I think that people need to see people who have the dynamic with partners and people who don't, so that they don't feel like there's only one way to get it and like it's all gets all crazy. More and more, the trust I have with my partner gives me permission to explore surrender in myself
Yeah.
with him in a way that I am not willing to explore with anyone else. And that,
Yes.
how wonderful to be able to bring the skill set of communication and self-exploration we're talking about from kink, where you're forced to really niche down to what you like. Because when you're in the kink scene in a real way, you're gonna find the people who are like, I want to go down on you and I don't want you to pay attention to me. And that's one scenario, and that's great,
Hmm.
but you have to really know if that's you're possible, if it's capable in within you to meet that. Or in my case, I want to be able to lounge and relax while you choke on my toes. Well, I'm gonna have to, in order for that to be done with consent and for all parties to be
Yes.
happy with that, the reason that people go, oh, that sounds crazy, is because that to niche down to that particular aspect of pleasure, it's going to sound crazy if you're coming from the starting point of not knowing yourself and just taking for granted the script that you were handed and the
Yeah.
choreography that Jen and I are pointing out. And you don't have to go there. I like that. I don't care if other people like it. But it doesn't mean
Yeah.
it has to be for others. It's about freedom.
Yes.
Freedom. So what
Hmm.
would you say, Jen? What amazing pearls of wisdom would you give this audience at the end of this conversation for how to bring in these themes of permission and trust? What would you want people to have?
I would want them to have a person that I trust
Mm,
and to get intimate with, that
mm,
helps them, that liberates them through communication. I have that with my partner. I must say he liberated me and
mm,
showed me what I can be and what I am free to experience through BDSM.
mhm.
And if you haven't that person, don't have sex. Sounds crass, but every other person who doesn't give you that is not worth your time.
Yeah,
You can throw them all away. They're not for you.
they're not for
I
you.
did that. Yeah, I did that too. I threw the guys away. I'm not very proud of it, but I tried a lot before I met my guy, and yeah,
No, I think that I now how I arrived to the point I am now, and I would want people to have the same toolkit of find good humans to explore with. And if
yeah,
that's not available in your area, you can explore with yourself and find
yeah.
really good information in books and on the internet. We are in that place, thank God. And listen to people in BDSM like us who are doing this so that you have agency and permission, not people who are just like pay me immediately for send me a video of you torturing yourself. Like, like I would like there to be an
Mm.
order of operations for people who are new to this. And pruning your social garden, pruning your sexual partnership garden. And it doesn't have to be mean. Like we all have a learning curve. And where I've arrived now is that I have a real funnel system, question
Hmm.
interviews, and sometimes a tryout. And I say it could be a tryout. And if we don't like it, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's just a way to learn. And when you have a funnel system like that, before you even get to the vulnerability of being naked and sexual with somebody, if you're doing it that way, you're gonna know with all those conversations. Because the ones who are like, do we really have to talk about this? Let me just take you out now. I'm like, thank you very much for your time. This is not of interest to me, but you're allowed to have whatever you want, and I don't want to get in your way. And when you have this kind of like customer service, way of handling it, it gets easier to find the right humans. So it's possible,
Yeah.
folks. Possible.
And like to add that this way of funneling
Yeah.
is also very empowering
Yes.
because you understand that you decide who gets into your bed and into your life, not someone else. And that feeling is so liberating. It's so empowering to know I am at the steering wheel here. I'm
Hmm.
in command. I'm in charge. And if you don't like what I like, then please love me from afar.
Admire me and obsess about
Yeah.
me from far away, and so I never see you again.
Yes. Yes.
I would like to wrap that up with a little kinky witch mantra for people. Here's a little spell casting folks can do. I'd like to quote Jen and say, I'm at the steering wheel, I'm in charge, and see how that lands in your body. That's very useful. Another tool I would like for people to take away to use in interaction with others is when someone is hitting on you, propositioning you, or asking you for sexual interaction, even a date. Ask them. Ask yourself inside, at the very least, and if you can, ask them out loud, what do I get out of this? And that will start to change. That puts in place you being in charge and in the steering wheel position. So, Jen, this was so amazing. We'll have to pause here, but thank you. And folks, we'll be back with more. Okay, bye.
Bye.